Hello and welcome to the Quincy Access Television Studios. I'm Mark Crosby. Thank you for joining us for Your Police Department, a program that really examines the police department, kind of department by department, and helps you to basically stay informed and really find out about what you might not know about your police department. Joining me is Officer Ryan Donnelly. Officer, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
Good to have you. Of course, we do the Crime Watch programs in addition to this program.
Yep.
So we certainly appreciate you taking the time to come into the studios.
Oh, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Today we will talk about actually two groups or two academies. There's the Citizens Police Academy and then the Youth Academy. But basically both are there to kind of inform folks about the police department.
Correct. So we had the Citizens Police Academy years ago. It kind of took a vacation, as I like to call it, and then we brought it back. We run the Citizens Police Academy 2 times a year, one in the fall, one in the spring. Tuesdays and Thursdays, 6 to 9 p.m. We figured Tuesdays and Thursdays, it's not the beginning of the week, not the middle of the week, not the end of the week, so it's kind of like break the week up a little bit for you. Free of charge, you don't have to pay anything. You have to be a Quincy resident, 21 years old. You have to fill out an application, sign some paperwork, for ride-alongs and things like that. We do a ride-along with it. And we do a short background check, just make sure you don't have any felonies. You can't have any felonies if you're going to do it. And then we expose them to everything from criminal law to constitutional law to we bring the SWAT team in. We do crash reconstruction. We bring them out on the boats. We do ride-alongs. We have we teach them about hostage and crisis negotiation. We bring the clinicians in to talk about our clinician program.
And we've had them on a program here as well.
Oh yeah. Tim and Sam are awesome. They're like just a dictionary of just information.
Absolutely.
They're just awesome. And then it's really, really in-depth, the Citizens Academy. The guiding principle is that we're your police department. We want to let you know the tools that we have and what we use them for. It's to kind of bridge the gap between people who are like, I'm not really a huge fan of the police, to have them be friends of ours and let them know that we serve them. There's usually like a filling out period when you first start it. Like everybody's like brand new in a room together. You don't know anybody and everybody's super quiet.
Yeah.
But me and the other people that work at, we kind of like try to drag your personality out of you. You know what I mean? And
I should say that one of my colleagues here at the station participated in those programs or in that academy. And she would come into work the next day and talk about all of her experiences and really was excited to share them. So you knew that she enjoyed the
awesome.
process.
That's good to hear. That's really good to hear. We kind of rebranded it. It used to just be, we'll have people into the station and stuff. Like we're out of our home now. We do it at the Kennedy Center just because they're building the new police station. So parking is really, really tight. The facilities that we have now don't really fit what we're doing because we need kind of like an exposition area where we can bring cruisers in to do car stops because we teach how to do car stops.
We should mention that the public safety headquarters, which is under construction, once that is done, there will be space in there for this
we're gonna have
program.
a couple of classrooms. Yeah, it's going to be awesome once we're in there. We'll be able to just kind of branch out and maybe take more people. We usually cap the Citizens Academy at 20, just because logistically getting through some of like the evolutions that we're going through, like with car stops and things like that, that takes time. And the larger amount of people you have, obviously the longer it takes, and you start to lose people's attention and things like that. So we keep it jam packed. Like I'm tired when I go home, so I can only imagine like how people are when they go home, because I'm tired too from doing it. It's a really good program. We've had really, really good success with it. It's actually starting up the 8th of April. We're going to put the application online on the city website. I'm going to send that email out today to have that posted. Anybody that's interested can just fill out the application, email it to me. My email address will be at the bottom of it. If you can't find it on the city website, email me and I'll email you a copy of the application and we can accept it that way. And once the background check is done, you'll get an email saying, hey, listen, you've been accepted into the Citizens Police Academy, and here's a start date and the information going forward.
As I'd mentioned, Carol had talked quite a bit about her experience, and I remember her saying at the end of the day, it was kind of tiring for her too, but she enjoyed it at the same time.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because we select officers that like to present their subject matter that they're an expert in. Like say the SWAT team, I'll get with the lieutenant. I'll say, hey, listen, can we have A, B, and C come in to demonstrate all the SWAT stuff? We bring the Bearcat down, the big armored car that we have. They bring one of their tactical cars that we have down, show all the stuff, do a show and tell. People put on the vest. When it's funny how people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, we've even had people who are now currently in a police academy for a different jurisdiction that went through it. When they put on those vests that they become a big kid, they're like, oh, this is great. It's like being 10 again, and the officers that come in to present really are experts in that specialized field. And people get a lot from their depth of knowledge, which is, I'm always surprised. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that either. Like, leaving for the day, I'm like, oh, hey, Jimmy, like, I didn't know like that. That's awesome,
Right, because I think there are specialized units, and they are specialized.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can just talk about, actually, geographically, I'm thinking out loud here, but we are coastal. So we do have a Marine unit. Some municipalities don't.
Yep. So when we went out, we actually owe the fall class a ride on the boats. The chief is like, don't forget to take them out, which I haven't. All of you, I promise. It just got too cold too quick this fall. But the class we had last spring, we went out on the boats. Lieutenant Gillen's great. Showed them all the boats. We showed a couple of the dive sites that they train on. The divers train on, where there's like a sunken crane by the shipyard that they train on, in those areas and things like that. We took a ride out into the harbor. It was awesome. The officers get to do their patrols with the citizens on it. They say, here's what we do in the Marine unit. This is what I normally do in the morning. Here's where I travel to. I check this, respond to this call. And they had a blast. Like, everybody had a lot of fun that night. It was a good time.
And I know I have actually done a program, and maybe we can do it again on the boat.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I look forward to kind of, show
fun.
And tell. Talk about, I suppose, what folks get at the end of the process, a certification of sorts.
So we have a little graduation ceremony. The chief and some other superior officers will come down. We usually get some food and give you a certificate, say congratulations for hearing me talk on and on and on and on for hours for 8 weeks. We give them a little prize. I like to keep it a little secret, but if you end up joining the Citizens Academy, you'll find out what that is at the end. You get a little gift on the way out.
Keep it as a secret. Right, exactly. We don't want to give everything away in this program.
No.
We do want folks to certainly take part. And
Absolutely.
You had mentioned it's free. So
free.
Folks, I'm sure folks that do sign up for this, many might not have known it existed.
Yeah, so it stopped around 2005, 2006. We did it for a number of years. And then we just kind of started back up, revitalized it. We're like, hey, listen, here's an idea. Why don't we bring it back? We have way more things to show people now than we did in 2005, 2006. And it's just kind of taken on a life of its own. A lot of people, like, I still keep in contact with the people that we've had in the academies. Like, they're like, hey, Ryan, what's going on? Reach out. And, it's kind of like one big family. It's great. It's fun.
There's a list of topics that are covered, and you had gone over some of those, but amazing. I mean, it seems, I can understand now why my colleague was tired at the end of the day, but so informed.
Yeah, so we usually try to break it a lot. Some of the subjects the whole 3 hours will be, you get breaks in between. We don't make people stay in a classroom and just stare at us for 3 hours. We try to engage in lively conversation just what do you guys think of this? We generally start out with the criminal law and the constitutional law and the motor vehicle stuff like the first night. The reason for that is that I always tell people, bear with me the first night, because that's the foundation for when we bring in defensive tactics and use of force. So like a lot of the foundational stuff will be in that first night, and then we build off of that, and it kind of takes a life of its own. But generally we'll have 2 different subjects per night, like it'll be split. We'll have a presenter at the beginning of the night, and then one at the end of the night. Generally they complement each other, so it's either the same presenter or one presenter will be at both. And so we try to schedule it like that. That is the logistical challenge that we run into a lot, because, you know, things pop up. It's like, oh, my kid's sick, I can't come in to do the Citizens Academy. So then we have to like plug and play something else. But we've refined it that it's not a huge thing, and generally people don't know that things
Well, there's
are
a lot
canceled.
to plug and play here.
Yeah. We like I said, one of the core tenets is for us to show you what we have. Essentially, you guys finance what we do, right? The equipment that we have, the training that we've gotten, the police department that's come out from that equation. So we want to say, hey, listen, thank you for that, and here's what we have to show you. And because it makes no sense to have all of these specialties and people who have like studied their subject matter if it's not available for the public to use or to know about. So that's kind of like our guiding force.
Would you say that there's anything that's taught that is, I don't want to say unique to Quincy, but maybe something that because of Quincy, because of where it's situated, maybe an offering that might not be offered in other police academies?
It's across the board, because a lot of our equipment that we have for some of the specialty units come from the UASC grant, which is unique to Boston regional communities. So like the boats, obviously, too, you're not going to have that if you're in Worcester. You know, you might have a boat that goes out on the ponds, but you're not going to have like coastal type boats that will patrol. So I think that's another one that's unique. And I think the way that we just like deliver it, myself and Officer Hartnett, he's my partner on this. We both grew up in the same area of the city. Greg's a couple years older than me. I've known Greg most of my life. And the way that we present it, it's just like, hey, listen, we're 2 kids from Quincy Point that became cops, and we love our job, so we want you to love our job too. And I think that's unique.
The K9 unit is presented as well.
Yep.
So does this include the comfort dog?
Yeah, so Reggie, I call him Reggie. His name's Ringo, but Reggie's like a little like nickname we have for him. Ringo will come down and he'll do a demonstration when we have Project Lifesaver in the drones. So we do Project Lifesaver, the drones, and then Ringo, because he's a hound, so he does tracking and comfort as well. And we will simulate, I'll go hide somewhere and like he'll find me, we'll send the drones up, and you know, the Project Lifesaver, I'll have the Project Lifesaver tracker in my pocket, so you'll be able to track me. And that's kind of like a culmination night where we have 3 different disciplines working together to show how much we train and how well these rescues go.
My thought, because I had the sheriff, excuse me, of Norfolk County in here recently for a program, how much coordination is there with the, I say, Quincy Police Department and the Norfolk County office, sheriff's office?
In terms of just general patrol or with the program?
Well, I guess general patrol, I'm thinking, or when do the 2 units collaborate?
So they're our law enforcement partners. Whenever we need an asset that they have, we'll contact them. Like, say, for example, Project Lifesaver. If we needed a large command post, they have several. We'll call them up for events. We'll have them also come in for events for, like, say, the parades and things like that. Different escorts, you know, they have a motorcycle unit as well, like with ours, things like that, and vice versa. If they need something, they'll ask us, hey, listen, can you come up to our substation to take care of this matter for us or help us out? So there's definitely a collaboration and a law enforcement partnership for sure, but a day-to-day, there isn't that much. But when it comes to, hey, listen, can you help me out with the parade, or, can you help me with the command post? Hey, do you have a couple guys that can help do this from Quincy? Absolutely. No questions asked.
What are some of the comments that you receive, I suppose, at the end of the program for folks that finish and get the
Yep.
gift and the certification at the end? What do they say about the whole experience?
I would say generally, more than generally, 99%, it's positive. I always
And they
ask-
don't, a lot of things they probably didn't realize.
Correct. That's a big thing. I always ask for things to critique because I always want to make the program better. So even if it's like, hey, listen, Ryan, like, just stop talking. Okay, cool. Like, I'll do that. Sometimes people don't like
I like
sitting
when you talk in this program.
in this
because-
program. I'll keep talking.
Yeah,
to you.
okay, thank you.
But it's overwhelmingly positive, and I'm happy about that. Like, it means a lot to me. Like, if we're able to provide this to the citizens of the city, and they even are like, hey, this changes my position on how I feel about law enforcement. I had people say this is just like, you're a bunch of regular guys. Like, yeah, we're not robots. We all have an identity outside of work. We were someone before we became a police officer. We just happen to love our job, and this is the job that we chose to do, and we're passionate about it.
Do you feel that there's been a change in how police officers are perceived? It's not a them versus you kind of attitude?
Yeah, I have. I mean, it was like that for a while. It's sad, because we haven't changed here. I mean, if anything, we've gotten more educated. We got more tools and become a better police department. Like, there was never a time when we were like a worse police department. But I feel like we compensate for stuff that goes on nationwide with the way that we police here in the city. And I truly feel that we police with our hearts and with logic, opposed to just being bound by a book of laws and protocol. Don't get me wrong, we have laws we have to enforce, and we have policies that we have to follow, without question. But I feel like, since a lot of us grew up here and lived here and know a lot of people here, we kind of see it almost as like a family. It's like, hey, listen, Mr. Jones is going through a hard time. Maybe we don't have to take this route. We can take this route. And we treat everybody like that. And I think that's unique here.
And I think a big part of that is community policing. Mm-hmm. I know that retired officer, current city councilor Dan Minton, often would host pickup basketball games.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. My former boss. Great guy.
But
Yeah.
it's that reach, it's that community reach.
We still do those basketball games today.
You do?
Yep.
Are you any good?
I'm not. I crossed him over one time, but we won't talk about that anymore.
Show's
I think
over.
he was surprised. He's like, for a bigger guy, you got around me.
Wow.
That was just one time.
Okay. When he comes in this studio, I'm going to bring that up.
He'll probably be like, I don't know what you're talking about.
But that still goes on, and that's really an important component for folks to, I suppose, be aware of, and I guess not only be aware of. It's really important for folks to realize, as you had mentioned just moments ago, that we're just regular folks like you.
Yeah, everybody's the same. I just have a job, which by law entitles me to take someone and arrest them if I have to. I mean, it's a calling, 1,000%. It's not a job for everybody, but I truly feel that we just go out there and just try to do the best for people. And I know it's hard for some people to wrap their head around based on what you see in the news, but that's how we do it here, and I think it's awesome. It's great.
So before we get to the Youth Academy, I would assume across the country that there are other similar academies that maybe either you modeled yours after, or
Yep.
certainly look at, or they in turn look at what Quincy does and model theirs after you.
I don't know if we're there yet for that part, but when we were researching on putting these two academies together, we did a lot of research. It just so happened that it was during COVID. So Although the world was still busy, we still had calls for service and things like that. There were less calls for service for certain things. There was less interactions with people, obviously, to stop the spread of COVID. So I got to do a lot of research on these. Went across the country, called people, emailed people, in-state, out-of-state. How do you handle this? What do you think about this for policies and procedures? How do you handle this sort of situation? And we kind of took that all together, mixed it up in a big salad bowl, and that's kind of what we got there.
Again, you had mentioned that the upcoming academy is in April, but this program, as you know, will air and air and air. So for folks beyond April, they should, again, get in touch with the Quincy Police Department main number, or
They can just
go
email
on
me.
to the website and
Yep.
your email. And I'm not sure that that's on screen for folks.
Okay, so it's R Donnelly, Donnelly, at quincyma.gov. Any of these community programs like of this nature, email me. That's the easiest way to get a hold of me. I tell people that all the time because it goes to my watch, goes to my phone, actually goes to my work phone. So I get multiple dings all the time when an email comes in. So we'll run, if you don't make it into this one in the spring, fall, spring, fall. That's generally how we'll do it. So there'll be 2 a year. And even if we have to compile a waiting list, we'll do that.
And as I wait for my director to get that on screen, give it out for the folks one more time.
It's R Donnelly, Donnelly, at quincyma.gov.
Very good. Now, Youth Academy. So this academy, the Citizens Police Academy, is for folks 21 and older. Let's
Correct.
talk about youth.
So the Youth Academy is something that never existed before. We started it 2 years ago. This will be our third year. This is it's funded by the Shannon Grant, which is a state and federal grant, and the City of Quincy Police Department. We took 52 kids last year. We'll probably be somewhere around 40 this year. We're going to do it at Atlantic Middle School opposed to Quincy High School, which we've done the last 2 years. We've kind of like outgrown that site a little bit with the things that we do. It's a week long. We're doing it this year from July 28th to August 1st, Monday through Friday. It's 8:30 to 3. Kids can walk home. It's for incoming 7th and 8th graders. So, it's not for little kids and it's not for high school kids. That 7th and 8th grade demographic was a demographic that we found was not getting a lot of exposure to the police department. So when we started this up, we wanted to target a group that we didn't see much. We see a lot of kids in the younger grades and we see a lot of kids in the older grades. It's the middle grades we just didn't get a lot of in touch with. So.
And when you mention the younger grades, you're probably referring to DARE.
DARE, yep, and the school resource officers. There are school resource officers in the middle schools, but there is a school resource officer in each high school. So, and I go and I'll speak to the high school classes for criminal justice and things like that. Other officers will come in too. So we were just like, hey, listen, the middle school kids are kind of in that really impressionable age, and let's see if we can reach out to them. It's been very successful. We teach them self-reliance, self-esteem, a little bit of discipline, nothing too crazy. We teach them how to march, teach them how to salute. We separate them up into squads, so they're all responsible for their squads. Each one has a squad leader.
I was going to say leadership.
Yep. So, and we allow the kids to vote on who that would be. We tell them it's not a popularity contest, but we are able to overrule them if we don't think that, that person in charge of the squad is doing the right thing. We have them design flags for each squad, so it's pretty cool. They get to the first day, they get together, they design their own flag, they have to carry it around. It's called their guidon. They carry it around everywhere they go. That squad leader's in charge of it, and it kind of builds from there. They get exposed to nearly everything that the citizens do, just in an age-appropriate version.
I'm impressed by middle school kids here at Quincy Access Television. They come in during the summer for a week-long clinic, and I guess I'm always impressed by the end of the week, how they're able to put a program together. And I would assume that you are equally impressed by what you see, I guess, towards the end or maybe during the academy, their response and I suppose, their response to what they are told and presented.
Yeah, I think in society sometimes we don't give kids enough credit for their abilities.
Oh, they're just a kid.
Yeah, and we try, obviously we have to maintain safety for the kids. They're under our care while they're there. There's a permitting process. We had to develop a whole bunch of policies and procedures from scratch. We work very closely with the health department because they issue us our license because it's licensed as a camp. And we try to cross all the T's and dot all the I's and just kind of make sure that everything's all nice and neat and the kids have a great time and they grow. And the last group that we had, a bunch of them knew each other in like little cliques. But then at the end, you could tell like they all kind of meshed at the end of the week. It's amazing, like you said, what happens in a week. And we were like really proud. And talk about tired, like the Citizens Academy, you'll be tired at the end of the night. But at the end of the Youth Academy week,
I was going to say, you have a daughter, I have a son, and yes, kids can tire you out.
We go to Petix Island usually Wednesday of that week. We go out on the boats, go out there for the day. Officer Scott Kelly and Sergeant Des Roach and Officer Hartnett are my main partners in setting this up, the Youth Academy. And Scott came up with an awesome scavenger hunt on Petix Island, which the kids loved, and they had a great time exploring like the tunnels and things like that, just getting the lay of the land out there and kind of doing what they do.
I think this program today certainly was all about educating folks, both adults and children, and really makes me realize, although I was aware of it, I, again, don't know, especially where there was a lapse in this program, I don't know that all the folks in Quincy were aware of this. This Youth Academy, just like the Citizens Police Academy, is free as well.
Yeah, the Youth Academy is free too. A lot of people are really surprised about that. It fills up very quickly. We do first come, first serve, as long as all the paperwork, including a health form from the child's pediatrician, is attached to it. And a lot of people are just like, well, this is free. Like, I don't have to pay for daycare for the week. And
you get so much more with certainly. I wonder how many of these impressionable kids, because kids are impressionable, decide later on in life, I want to join the police.
We'll find that out in, I don't know, probably about 10 years, 15 years.
Well, you'll still be on the force.
15 maybe, yeah. Yeah. But if, it's funny because we did a ride-along program for a long time, and there are some officers that I did ride-alongs for when they were in high school that I work with now, and I'm reminded about that sometimes, which makes me feel old.
Oh, don't worry about it. Just brush that off. Officer Donnelly, thank you so much for joining me today. It's always interesting and a benefit, of course, to find out about really what's in our own backyard. In this case, the Quincy Police Department's Citizen Police Academy and Youth Academies.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, and we'll have you back in to talk more about the department.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you at home for watching, and please remember to support Quincy Access Television for more programming just like this.